Hello, welcome to another edition of Nayu Sabi TV. I'm your host, Victor. Today I will be talking about accountability. Before I start, I have to go in to define what accountability really means. What is the meaning of accountability? For those of you that don't really know, okay? According to Webster's English Dictionary, it states, accountability is an obligation or willingness to accept responsibility or to account for one's action. This is how the Webster's Dictionary defined it. I will also go ahead to play a video that will also go in to talk about accountability and what it really means.
When people say that's not my job, it reveals a deeper issue, which is a lack of accountability and a misunderstanding of what their job really is. Nobody was hired to complete a set of tasks. Everybody on the planet was hired to deliver certain results. True accountability is taking ownership of results and focusing on what you can do to achieve the desired results. I recently came across a story of a Southwest Airlines flight attendant that perfectly illustrates this point. A mom with two little kids was boarding a flight late and trying to find her place and get her kids settled. When she wasn't looking, her toddler bolted towards the door. Without hesitation, the flight attendant picked up the little child and bounced her on her knee while she was reading the pre-flight announcements. Now, I'm pretty sure that childcare was not on that flight attendant's job description, but she knew what her job really was, which was to ensure that flight left on time. That is taking ownership of results. The second part of accountability is focusing on what you can do to achieve the desired results, despite the obstacles. The flight attendant didn't stand back and say, well, I can't do my job until the mom does hers. Right? We've all heard people say, well, I can't do my job until that department does theirs. Truly accountable people ask themselves this question: what can I do to move us closer to our goal, despite the obstacles?
Narcissistic women. We've created a generation of narcissistic women. And what's happened is the rise of social media and the rise of online dating and the rise of feminism has taught women that they are not to blame for any poor choices. Every poor choice is glamorized. So if you want to be a sex worker, it's great. If you want to post in bikini pictures online, it's fine. If you want to be in with it, every poor choice is glamorized, and every internal reflection is seen as gaslighting yourself. So they've even got terms for internal reflection to prevent it happening. And so what will happen is they are trained to not reflect on themselves because we've been told we've been oppressed for so many years. Now it's time to make sure we project. And so we don't take any accountability. And as a result, when we get into relationships, if we don't feel completely soothed all the time, he must be a narcissist. He must be a manipulator. He must be gaslighting. He, rather than I. And unfortunately, we've got an online market that caters to that wounded woman, that caters to that entitled woman, and caters to that narcissistic woman. And it's so wild to me that so many women talk about narcissism, but the society today is just catering to narcissistic women.
So no matter what a woman does in today's world, she's excused. And this has been going on since this generation were all kids, or way before that. Feminism have taught them you can do whatever you want. You are equal to a man. And they are even doing the things that men will not even dare do. And when you try to hold them accountable, they will turn around and say they didn't do it, it's not their fault, or they blame it on the man. Blaming it on the man is usually the go-to.
So I just heard a woman on a podcast admit that she's been cheating on her husband and he found out. And so they ended up going to therapy, but then plot twist, she is taking zero accountability and she's playing the victim card. She even goes on to say that the therapist agreed with her, telling her that the husband drove her to do it. The lack of accountability amongst women these days is unreal. You guys cheat, it's the husband's fault. The guy cheats on you, it's also his fault. So sick and tired of seeing women take zero accountability, even when they're the ones that did the action, even when they're the ones that are at fault.
I cannot count how many times I've seen on social media or I've had people discussing, and amongst women, when a woman cheats, they will actually ask, what did the man do? The man must have done something. The man must have done something to make her cheat. And the women will find a way to blame it on the man. You cheated. You should take responsibility. Don't say somebody made you do it. Nobody made you do it. It was a conscious decision, an action that you took, knowing fully well the consequences. If a man did it, a man will never say, it was you that made me do it. But women will always turn things around and blame it on a man. It was because of him. If it wasn't because of him, then I wouldn't have done it. It's always that case. And I'm also glad that a lot of women are also recognizing that and speaking up against that.
I saw this one video where this lady was talking about, in this generation, we have created it that women can no longer be wrong. That anything a woman does can be justified and she needs no correction. And sometimes when women hear these things, they get triggered, they get angry, and they're immediately on the defense. But ask yourself this question. When you are dealing with female family members or female friends, do you experience this? Do you experience that you can't correct them without an argument, or they can never apologize for their wrongdoings? What do we really think about this statement?
So true. We see this amongst family members that are females. We see it amongst co-workers. We see it amongst friends that are females. When something bad happens, like divorce, separation, you never hear them talk about what they did wrong. The game is to always blame the man. And when they are blaming the man, they usually have an army of fellow women supporting them. And it's so impossible because men usually don't carry their families outside or their relationship outside. When women do wrong, they normally will run to their friends. They will carry the information outside. But when they will change the narrative, they will definitely change the narrative to suit them and paint the man black. Always the case. You never hear a woman say, oh, I got divorced because it was my fault, I did this. No, it's never that. They're always right. Even though they could have been the cause of that divorce or that separation, they will always put themselves on the right and put the blame on the man.
So the quote says, every time I addressed something that bothered me, I became the problem.
You can say that again, brother. It's always our fault. That's why sometimes we don't even talk. We just keep it to ourselves. If it's something that we can just go ahead and correct, we'll go ahead and fix it. Because whenever you bring it up, somebody will always have an excuse. And they will turn it against you. And you will be at fault. Whether justified or not, you will be at fault.
Very misogynistic, realistically.
So what is misogyny? So why are you using words that you don't even know the definition of?
No, that's not what I meant. I think you are misogynistic, though.
But what does misogynistic mean? Like, just so I know what you're calling me.
Okay, so the reason I said it is just, again, based on the
Because you hear it on the internet?
Nah, bro, are you stupid? No. Seem very misogynistic.
Okay, you guys are all just like really misogynistic. I don't necessarily need a man to tell me.
How do you define misogyny?
I don't know, I don't like this.
What? how do you? I'm just asking how you define misogyny.
Can I go?
Are you okay? Like, do you want? You want to go as in leave? Is it because I asked how you define misogyny? Is that good? If you, yeah, no, look, if you want to leave, you can leave. I was hoping we could continue having a conversation, but,
Okay.
Somebody please tell me, why is it that these two young ladies used the words misogyny or misogynistic, and when they were asked the meaning of it, the first one said didn't know the meaning, and while the man was just asking, did you use it because it sounded good, she had the guts to ask him, are you stupid? No, girl, you stupid. You don't even know the meaning of the words that you're using. Then the other girl was quick also to call the man misogynistic. And then when the man said, please, what is the meaning? Tell me your meaning of misogyny. All of a sudden she's crying. You don't know the meaning. Just come out and say, wow, well, sorry about that. This is what I meant. I used the word that I don't know the meaning and it doesn't apply, but this is what I meant. Take responsibility. Why are you crying? And then a lot of times women cry because they want to get out of something. They don't want to be accountable.
You marry a woman that's been with 10 different men, that's a lot of imprinting. Because for a woman, sex changes your DNA. Wow. It changes it. It alters it. This is biologically proven. So you're being imprinted. I would rather be imprinted by the man that I'm marrying and not engage in sort of like a psychological, biological, spiritual orgy. Because now, you know, a lot of times you wonder why relationships are not working, because they're comparing you with other lovers. And because everything happens at a psychological, subconscious level, sometimes people are not able to access why they treat you or respond to you in a certain way when the response is coming from all of these other experiences that they've had.
This video touched on a very vital topic, and that's the topic of body counts. When you talk to a lot of ladies, they always think that their body count doesn't matter. But I hate to tell you, it does. They always tell you, leave my past, that's my past. My future is what I'm concerned about. Yes, it is your past, but your past does matter. When you have high body count, it makes it very difficult to bond with an individual. So just imagine that you are being intimate with your husband or your boyfriend, but you've been with so many other guys, and now you're comparing that husband or that boyfriend to several of those guys. That will make it difficult for you to bond. It will also make you to move even from fantasy to go outside to chase possibly those men that you should have in your past, or to seek other men that will give you that level of satisfaction. When you continue to do that, it will make your present relationship fail. So if you're saying, put that in my past, that's not taking, that's, you know, you are refusing to take accountability. And when you're doing things today thinking that it wouldn't matter tomorrow, I bet you it will matter, and people will hold you accountable to that. You better believe it.
do modern women struggle with accountability?
Because that would mean that they have to acknowledge that they don't bring value to the table. That would mean that they have to acknowledge that all they have to offer is beauty and intimacy. And that's unfortunate. A modern woman of 2024 is a woman that seeks attention and validation more than respect and authenticity. It is a woman who is entitled to whatever it is that people have around her. It is a woman that takes things for granted, is not appreciative, and kind of just has a high level of expectation with low level of give. You know, she's a take.
Women can't handle the truth. We say we can, but we can't. If you tell me that the reason our relationship is like in an uproar or something because of something that I did, that will make me feel as a woman inadequate. That'll make me have all of these other emotions. So I'm just gonna flip it. Jedi mind trick you. It's you. Because if you didn't say that, but when you said it, you was like, you know, and I'm gonna find a reason, and then if all else fails, I'm gonna cry.
Why is it that when you have that perfect person, why don't you
No woman is perfect. Men don't claim to be perfect. Women do the majority of the breaking up. And whenever you ask a woman why she broke up with the man, who does she always blame? Him. So when the public finds out that a woman cheated on her man, they always support that and be like, well, why did she cheat? Women claim that they're perfect. When you just ask all you ladies, what did you do wrong in this relationship? And none of you guys said anything that you did anything wrong. Besides saying happy wife, happy life. So that pretty much means the man's happiness. Women do not take accountability most of the time.
So they think they could just get away with the privilege of not being accountable because of all the structures that are put into place. One thing you guys mentioned before earlier was about Maury. Think about the concept of Maury. This is why so many women today are incapable of understanding the word accountability when they look at the different structures within our society today. The concept of Maury is she can test 6 to 10 men, but she'll never get booed. Ever.
She gets clapped.
She can come out up on stage and never get booed, but they'll boo all 6 of the guys, even if they were never the father.
You need to be a dad. She's not mine. You're telling me that I raped you, but if I raped you, then how'd you get?
Talk about accountability, right? Because the modern woman would prefer to lie than take accountability. So with the Amber Heard Johnny Depp case, she preferred to lie than to be seen. Because I've always said that women have a perception, right, that they want to keep up. They want to be seen a certain way. And so what it is that for women, image is everything, right? And so with Amber Heard, she didn't want her image to be destroyed. With the women that go on the Maury show, and I'm telling you, they go crazy. He should have been doing this before the DNA test comes out, by the way. They're going crazy because what? They're trying to keep an image. What will happen is their image will be destroyed and they'll be seen for who they are, and they don't want it.
In the case of 11-month-old Lila, Drew, you are not.
But you know what happens when they do get found out to be lying? They get consoled.
No, they run off. They run off and scream.
Don't worry. They run off and scream.
I got so many stories about this.
And everyone's like, oh, it's okay. So what it is that there's no accountability. Me and MTR know, right, if a guy does something and it's wrong and it goes tits up, there's an accountability there, right? There's accountability right there. Women get consoled. They get cuddled. They get told that it's okay. Don't worry about it. So then she...
Points. Good points. One, most of us have seen videos, all these courtroom videos where they do DNA and stuff like that. The women will come out and talk, and everybody will basically believe them. And they will do a DNA test, and that baby will not be the guy's baby. I was just reading on DNA the other day, and they're talking about if you do DNA on people in Nigeria, that minimum 1/3 will not be the children of the person they say that child belongs to. And they say that a lot of first sons or daughters are usually not the child of the man that lady is married to. And this is why whenever you talk about DNA, women said it is not necessary, that it will destroy a lot of families, because DNA will hold them accountable. You cannot be denying it. DNA will hold them accountable, and they don't want to be held accountable. So this video touched on very key facts. Please, before I conclude, take your time, go down and subscribe as you're watching this video now. It doesn't really cost you anything. It's absolutely free to subscribe. Also, don't forget to share this video with family and friends, and give me a thumbs up if you like the videos. Also, leave a comment. When you leave a comment on the comment section of YouTube, that will help me to know what is going on, what you feel, what I should add, what I should take out. It also will give me insights about your opinions on some of the topics that are being discussed. Please, I am begging you, go ahead, subscribe and share.
What is it about women and accountability to where the two are just like oil and water? Why is that?
Well, how often do we really hold them accountable?
It's very rare.
Sure.
I guess just the pattern that I've noticed is like, it's a constant process of emotional justification for their actions without admitting that it was a mistake.
I think it's not necessarily because in their heart of hearts they believe it.
Yeah.
It's because it works. Like every time the cop lets the woman off the hook for the speeding ticket because she's crying, it just trains that kind of behavior in women.
Okay.
Like, to what extent has acting in that way caused the dad to let up when she was a girl?
There's a quote from Socrates that goes, "Trust not a woman when she weeps, for it is her nature to weep when she wants her will." Thoughts on that? A banger.
Works.
I agree.
Yes, this video sums it up. A lot of women have never been held accountable. Even as babies, as little girls, women have been pampered. They have never been made to take accountability of their actions. So we have really spoiled our own daughters. But if we start today, it is not too late. Women, you all should learn to take responsibility for your actions. You should also be proactive to take responsibility to make sure that things have better results. And when it comes time to apologizing, don't hesitate to apologize. And when you finish apologizing, don't end it with bet. Because when you do that, you are destroying the apology. So when you apologize, mean it. And when you finish apologizing, close your mouth and listen to the person that you did wrong. Take accountability. Once again, my name is Victor. Thanks for watching. I see you in my next video. Ciao.